Shalom, Kahalo Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai Bashim Kakudash, double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops of GMS, including those that came before them that taught us his truth, and Shalom and salutations to all the brothers that push the word in truth and in sincerity, the hopeful elect tabernacle of David. I'm the brother Yashawan, back with another lesson. All right, and I'm going to call this one Closer by the Day, something to that effect. Because this battle has to be, it has to be fought in order for us to make it, and for the kingdom to come. And that battle is going to start and it's going to end with the angels and Yahweh Shai making a quick work. But once it gets started, really it's already started if you're paying attention. So let's get a couple of opening precepts. Let's get, right, Isaiah. And this is going to keep coming out, 19. The Egyptians, right? What the hell is going on? There it is. All right, Isaiah 19:2. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, or the Americans against the Americans, or the left against the right in America, or the black against the white in America. And they shall fight everyone against his brother. Jacob and Esau were brothers. Okay. Or within your own family, you're going to have, skirmishes. That great division is here. All right. What we'll do is we'll watch, after we watch this short news clip, we'll look at some of the comments and see the division. All right. And everyone against his neighbor. Okay, that's the Bloods against the Crips, if you will. All right. City against city and kingdom against kingdom. All right, so everybody can be fighting each other. Okay? Your own brother, if you will. Second measures, let's get 6. Oh. This is the time we're in right now, with famine and pestilences. Our second Ezra 6:22, and suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, plenty of that. The full storehouses shall be found empty. All right. Destroyed another food processing plant. And the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid. People are afraid now. They know what's in the air, right? Like Phil Collins, in the air tonight. People know what it is, especially Esau. Esau knows. He's like this, we're here. We get to use these guns and have this fight we've been talking about for so long. What you don't understand, what happened in the last Civil War? The South got their ass kicked. Okay? And that's what's going to happen again. All right? At that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of the fountain shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. All right, so that's the time we're in right now. And with every hour that passes, we get closer and closer to the hot war when the guns start shooting, right? And you got Esau running amok. Trump started his own Twitter, whatever it's called, I forget. And they got Esau's just running his mouth. Right here it is. All we got to do is put up the wrong video, but this dude could come out talking about who he's going to kill and who they're targeting, right? They better get a little slap on the wrist. So this is MSNBC yesterday. Man arrested 19 months after allegedly storming Capitol, which is an insurrection. Insurrection, you're supposed to be under the jail. Storming the Capitol, that's treason, is it not? That's terror. Terrorism. Which what they're doing is they're building a case against us, but these things must come to pass. And here we are, closer and closer. Or I should, the title will be Closer by the Hour. How about that? Let's listen to this.
So, Ryan, let's talk about that, Heath, those threats to DOJ and to FBI agent Long.
Huh? Threats? Who's threatening the Department of Justice and the FBI? You get away with that? You should be under the prison right now.
So, Ryan, let's talk about that, Heath, those threats to DOJ and to FBI agent, law enforcement officials. Another man was arrested, this one in Pennsylvania, for making death threats to FBI agents. Just go online, go on any social media outlet, and you will see people that are putting their face online and saying that the FBI needs to be taken down. I mean, there are a lot of threats out there. Is the FBI aware of all of these? Are they actively searching them out? What is the line that they're drawing for free speech?
And the FBI is the one cultivating and probably planting these people, what do you call it, bots or whatever. All they got to do is say that somebody said that. Because what do they know? Here's what the FBI knows. These MAGAs are not coming after the FBI. They're coming after Jake. All right? There was one good comment. I think it's in here. And it had to be a brother. And let's see if we can find it.
And a threat.
There are a lot of complicating factors in these investigations because, of course, we do have the First Amendment, which allows people to express, their distrust or their dislike, perhaps, of the FBI. But there's that line that you can't cross in terms of direct threats. Of course, there are a ton of just direct threats online right now. Some of them are coming in through various mechanisms. This arrest in Pennsylvania was a result of another outside organization that does a lot of online monitoring, passed it along to the FBI, and they went off of that tip. And that's how a lot of these come in, because the open source side of this for the FBI is very complicated because they don't want to just be out there sort of trawling the internet and looking for things given the FBI's history, but tips are very important to how these things come in. We saw that in the January 6th investigation. But Katie, just to give you a sense of how overwhelmed the FBI is in terms of just the January 6th investigation and then this on top of it. So 9 months after January 6th, I wrote a story identifying this man named Antonio LaMotta, who was inside the Capitol. He had actually, if you remember back to November 2020, he was one of those two individuals who went to Philadelphia and went outside. He was a QAnon believer, and he went to Philadelphia in a Hummer with some weapons in it, and they stood outside and they came to the convention center where the votes were being counted. Online sleuths have been looking for him for a while, and finally, when one of these footage from the Capitol attack surfaced, they found him inside. That was 9 months after the Capitol attack that I reported that in October. Just today, he's been arrested. So 10 months later, he was arrested. So if you just you think about that in terms of the volume of cases that they're dealing with on January 6th, and then you put on top of that all of these ongoing threats, you're really talking about a bureau that's really, under siege from amount of information that's incoming and threats that they have to deal with, Katie.
Now, did you hear him conveniently slip QAnon, Trump, January, say he put it all together, coming after and threatening the FBI and shooting and all of it. You see what they're doing? It's pretty clear. All right. Yeah, he slipped QAnon in there, if you were listening. So I'm not going to play it again. Go back and listen to it. But let's look at some of these comments. All right. All right, Katusha Watkins, sound like a sister. Arrest the nuts who are threatening violence and throw them in jail. It's ridiculous to think people can get away with this idiocy, all right? And then there's 37 replies. Hypocrisy. And if we read any of, you'll find some people on one side of this and some on the other side. Let's read. So is this guy Antifa or BLM? And he's laughing. So that this is a Trumper, right? This is a MAGA. To put that, right? He's blaming the other side. Oh, Andy N. Andy N word. Imagine though how many we would have to track down just between the threats made to FBI and the Supreme Court justices. This is a lefty. Nancy Pelosi is guilty of insider trading, but that doesn't mean her husband. This is a righty, all right? And he's a Trumpist as yourself, OFC. This is a lefty, okay? See how divided everybody is? At least send cops to their place and bring drug-sniffing dogs. This is a righty, Wilhelm. Top expert misinformation spam. See? Top expert is coming against the left. This guy, Wilhelm Reich, is a lefty. Hypocrisy at its finest. Suddenly it's Trumpers that wants to defund our. This guy's from the left. You can easily see just by the reply that they put or the comment, right? So let's see. Let me look for the one that I want to see here. Let's see. Let's read this. Seems to me there are many people out there who badly need anger control. Mental health therapy. Even more threatening is that most of these out of control individuals no doubt own or have access to substantial number of guns, ammo, access to instructions online on constructing various types of bombs, explosives. Have to wonder how many people in close contact with explosive humans neglect to report their activities that terrify them out of fear for their own well-being. You see this thing spiraling out of control? Let's see. First Amendment guarantees the right of free speech. It does not give people free pass to make threats against another person freely, expressing an opinion or feeling, not freely making a threat to someone else's welfare. One person's right to free speech does not give that person a right to threaten the safety of another person. Woo. Okay, so you see they're coming from both ends, right? Why on earth would the FBI need to plant evidence at Mar-a-Lago when Trump had already planted more than 30 boxes full of evidence at Mar-a-Lago himself? Okay, let's see if I could find this one. So these people, it might have been on a different comment board too. So, but the point is that you got both sides just showing you the division just by reading these comments. Plead the fifth, plead the fifth, plead the fifth. Trying to do that 440 times, LOL. That must have been pretty embarrassing for the narcissist. 440 times. Oh my God, can you believe that? Anyone sending out death threats must be dealt with severe penalties, plus violent rhetoric from politicians must stop. It is causing so much harm and unrest. The politicians are making threats. I don't see that really clever comment that I'm looking for. It dealt with these people, right? Talking about the MAGAs. This is their the last bit of pride that they have is being above black people. So that's what they're trying to hold on to. This is why they're doing whatever they do. It was so on point. Let me see. That's not it. It was an excellent comment. I can't remember it word for word though. It must be in a reply. Because I don't see it. I probably would have saw it already. 18 hours. Bear with me. I'm just putting in a little diligent search here. Let's see. Maybe it was in the 83. 83 replies. Let me see. Rest the nuts. Let's see. Let me see if I can find it in here real quick. Is this the 83 replies? Show more replies. Let's see. It doesn't look like I'm going to find it. Might be on a different comment board. Let's see. One more. That must have been the 83. All right, so whatever. Sounds like an SNL skit. Oh, wow. Okay. Oh, well. All right, so anyway, yeah, this thing is, it's not going to go anywhere because, you know, it's bubbling.
I saved 50%.
It's simmering right now. All right. So let's get a couple on the way out here. Let's get second Ezra. Let's get 15. All right. We already know how this thing is going to end. That's civil war, right? Second Ezra 15 and 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword in their destruction draweth nigh. Who is the sword? Esau's the sword. And their destruction. The destruction of the sword. And one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords. And here we are. Okay? They're making crazy threats and don't care what the consequences are at this point, letting you know what level we're at. And then the shooting is going to start. For there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes. The course of their actions shall stand in their power. Jump down to 18. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled. The houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. All right, so here's where we are. All right. And they're coming after Jake. All right. Let's get that real quick. The FBI is part of the MAGAs that are coming at. You think that the FBI ain't got no maggots in there? Shit. Oh. Slocky, bear with me. I'll just read this. This is 2 Ezra 16 and 70. For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. That's us. And the FBI is part of that great insurrection. They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. That's us. For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. Then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as gold in the fire. All right? So here we are. All right, we know what comes next. Gird up your loins like a man. Get ready to go through this fire, because that's the only way to the kingdom, straight and narrow, all right? So with that, we hope that the electorate and Salakia for the diligent search that, was fruitless, but nonetheless, I'll come back with more later. Hope that the elect were edified with that. You brothers and few sisters with that, shalom.